said here. So. Okay, so it's Mother's Day. I don't know if all of you read about, don't start laughing yet. There was a news article, I read it on the internet, that when women have babies, they actually grow more brain cells. I don't know if you read that. Right after they have babies, there's actually an increase in their brain cells. And the more nurturing and excited they are, the more brain cells grow. Now, I don't know if before they got pregnant, they didn't have enough brain cells. It's not for me to say, but if brain cells grow once you have the baby, you'd think Octomom would be a genius. And in general, you would think our population, as human beings, we might be a little smarter with all these women growing these extra brain cells. It doesn't say anything about men. Our brain cells may keep going down totally, I'm not sure. But we need all of the brain cells we can get because we have a very important job here. A job given to us directly by God. Genesis, it's 1:25 and 1:28, that human beings will have dominion over all living things. And later that human beings will subdue the earth. And, as Christians in general, we've taken that very seriously. The Spanish, the British empires, and Manifest Destiny in the United States, it was our job to take dominion and to subdue everyone who wasn't Christian. And so we would go to other lands or expand our own land, taking whatever we wanted, because we had dominion. If that's for me, Bill, tell him, take a message. We have strip mining, we have horrid pollution, because the earth is ours. We're in charge, we're to subdue it. We have actually killed off many animals who have gone extinct because we have dominion over them. There was one story about the last dodo bird, and this hunter read about there was only one left, and he went off and killed it because he wanted to make sure that he had the opportunity to do that before they were all gone. Having dominion over the world is a tough responsibility, but we use that. We use religion to get what we want. It's not an unusual thing. It's kind of like that situation that happened here not long ago. There was this older guy who lived here, and he really was kind of a hermit. He didn't have any friends, and only his dog, really. And you'd see him going around only with his dog, and then one day his dog passed away, and he went to the Catholic Church and said, well, Father, I haven't been to church for a long time now, but as a Catholic I wanted to come here because this dog meant everything to me. He was my one true friend, and now that he's passed away, I want to have a funeral for him. I want you to say a Mass. And the priest said, well, I'm sorry, but we can't do that. We can only say Mass for Catholics. But there's that New Thought church down here. Who knows what they might do? Why don't you go down there and maybe they'll have a church funeral for your dog? And the guy said, well, okay, if that's what you think, but this German Shepherd meant everything to me. I want to make sure it's a good funeral. Do you think $50,000 is enough to the church? And the priest said, 50,000? Why didn't you say he was a German Shepherd? They're Catholic. So see, we tend to interpret things in religion the way that's going to get us what we want. But let's face it, we are the children of God. Shouldn't we have dominion? Shouldn't we take what we want? Isn't that being a God manifest? Because God, in most religions, what we're learning is how to give God what he wants. God wanted lots of things. He wanted sacrifices of fruit and vegetables and burnt meat of all sorts. He wanted sacrifices of people, of enemies that you would capture, or virgins for some reason. And then, as God matured, I suppose, I don't know, because later God didn't want sacrifices like that, but God still wanted things. He wanted our hearts. God wanted our devotion, our worship, because God would give you ultimate salvation, but only if you gave God what he wanted first. In many of those religions, God is about taking what he wants. Whole wars were held because people were told God wanted these people destroyed, or God wanted you to have that land. A lot of it was about what God wanted. But then, as the children of God, if we're to have dominion, isn't it about what we want? And isn't it about that's what we do? Even in New Thought, I have to say, sometimes we do it. It's about we have dominion. Our word is it, because we are God manifest. And it's about us getting what we want. So we decide what we want, we say it, we get it, and that's what it's about. Now there is another interpretation. Neil Douglas Klotz, that Angie talked about last time, says, guess what? That's not what that said. That was in ancient Hebrew, and the translation does not say man will have dominion over the other living thing. It says man will rule with. Not over, with. It didn't say man would subdue the earth, but that man would help bring things to their purpose. Well, this puts us in a very different light. We're not the ones to rule over everything. We're not the highest. We're not it in this world. We're part of the whole. We're part of the system. Not the top, the part of. I've experienced this in my career in human services, because the system has usually been we're the funded agency to provide services. And things are very important. We decide what the person needs. We work with people with disability. We decide what they need. We have our territory. All the other agencies need to stay out of it. We have our funds. Nobody else better be going for those. And it's all about our control. But we've learned another way. And the agency that I'm executive director is known in Fresno and the Central Valley, and to some extent the state, for this. A new way of collaboration. And the people with disabilities help make the decisions. We don't tell them what they need. We work with them to help them figure out what we need. And we don't say, this is our area, nobody else can be there. Angie's like that with the churches. Religious science has particular areas. That's where we are. You can't put another church there. But we don't say that. We say, let people know what's there. Let them decide what they want and work together. In our agency, we don't say this funds are just for us. And in fact, we formed a coalition of human services, and instead of applying for funds for us, we applied for funds to teach other agencies how to be stronger. And it's a different way of looking at it.